Welcome to Homeschool University, where life meets learning. Hey, today I'm sharing my favorite curriculum for every grade. Yes, this is my top 12 list of those never fail, get her done resources. Yep, that I have used with my own kids and also with the families I work with as a homeschool consultant. So let me start out by saying, I love summer. I do. I live in the land of much winter. So 3 months of going outside without having to find everyone's little mittens and boots, yeah, that's a big deal. Actually though, the warm of summer is not the best part. Oh no, the best part of summer is when those boxes of new homeschool books arrive. Yay! That's right. You've slogged through those final days of school in the spring, and you've pored over all those shiny catalogs and websites, and now is the big payoff. I still get warm fuzzies just remembering the smell of fresh curriculum. But you know what? What's that you're saying? You're still on the fence? You're picking through choices? What? Well, hang on, and let's take the curriculum roller coaster for a ride. Before we dive in, I just want to give a big shout out to all my new Homeschool University subscribers. Woo! Hey, you guys make my day. But maybe you're new here. So go right ahead and bang that subscribe button so you don't miss a single new Homeschool University video. And hey, if you like this video, be sure to hit the happy little like button down there. It's totally free, and it really is the only way I know if I'm bringing you content that puts a smiley face on your homeschool day. Okay. We got a lot of material to cover here, and ain't nobody got time for a 60-minute YouTube video. So I'm going to buzz through these fairly quickly, but I'll list each resource by name, along with a link on where to find it in the comment section down below. Side note, I do not have any affiliate links. So any shopping suggestions that I give you are strictly because that's where I buy it. Us crazy busy homeschool moms need all the shortcuts we can get. And hang on until the end of this video, because I'll be sharing my favorite multi-age resource. Yep, the one you can use with all your kids at the same time. Woohoo! Yay! Okay. I'm grouping these by age as much as by grade because every kid is different and progresses at his or her own rate, right? Now, I might recommend something for a single grade, but any child working at that level could definitely use it as well. I'm also not giving you full product reviews here for the sake of time. More like what I recommend, when to use it, and why I like it. All right, so let's go. First grade, and we've got Happy Phonics. This one could also be a kindergarten resource if your child's ready to read, but for most kids, first grade is perfect. Happy Phonics really is a happy way, to grab those reading skills. This is all about learning phonics with games, and at this age, it doesn't get better than that, no. Just a few of my favorites are, we've got the castle game. I love that one. Climb the E-tree. There's another good one. The boat launch. Or how about Crazy Daisy? Oh, and then there's my personal all-time favorite, Space Race. You know what? This is straight up fun that delivers for every learning style. All right, so that was first grade. On to second grade. And we've got Miquon Math. Okay. So my philosophy on math is to avoid standard textbook lessons until like age 8 or 9, which puts regular math off until at least third grade. Okay, let's face it, math is highly abstract. I mean, you're using symbols to represent the counting of concrete things. And most young kids just aren't wired for pages of math problems. However, that doesn't mean that math concepts can't be introduced. And this is where Miquon Math comes in with some creativity to help you out. Side note here, while you might not need a teacher's guide with other math programs at this level, there are minimal instructions on these very non-traditional workbook pages. So make sure that you get the Annotations for Teachers guidebook. Yeah. Start with the orange, red, and blue books and use the other 3 in the series if you have time. Seriously, this is a fabulous way to meet math without the angst of staring at a page of numbers. Okay, moving on to 3rd grade, and this time we've got geography songs. Guess what? Geography is important. Yeah, the internet allows us to actually talk to people all around the world. So wouldn't it be great if our kids actually knew where these people live? Yeah, geography songs is a great introduction to the countries of the world. And you know what? It's fun because you're singing the names of countries to these catchy little tunes. They've even got one for all the states in the US. Bonus! You get this cool Color It In book for your visual and kinesthetic learners. And speaking of the songs, North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia, Africa, Antarctica, these are the continents. Yeah! And we're already up to 4th grade. This time it's creating line designs. I love this one because it feeds all those really important neurological pathways that develop critical, logical thinking skills. Yes, creating line designs is the perfect way to introduce critical problem solving in a non-threatening way. Your child literally creates designs with lines by following the simple directions on the page. All they need is a pencil and a ruler. You could start with any of the first 4 books, just depends on your child's fine motor skills. This resource hits all the learning styles and it is 0 prep for mom. Woo! Now that's a win. Yeah. All right. So now moving on, 5th grade. Finally, we got our science resource. It's TOPS Science. That's TOPS Science. Yep. Up until now, fingers crossed, you've been doing nature study for your science time. You know, like nature walks, observing the flora and the fauna. Yep, For more on this, you can see my video on teaching elementary science. But now, time to draw out the mad scientist lurking in every child. The beauty of these TOPS guides is the way they transition you from strictly nature study to the experimental method, because kids at this age are ready to dive a little deeper. Now, I explained more about TOPS in that science video I mentioned, but basically you're using household items with guided lessons so your child can draw conclusions based on observation. What a concept! I really like these 2, which would be the book on radishes. You're using actually growing radishes to illustrate your concepts. And then this one, corn and beans, does the same thing. You're just growing the plants and illustrating all kinds of science concepts from it. I love these 2 because they kind of dovetail into that nature study you've been doing, but they have lots of topics to choose from, and any of them, yeah, will do the trick. Okay, 6th grade. Wow, we are just buzzing through these. 6th grade is dailygrams. So I like to think of 6th grade as a transitional year. You're moving from the cram it all in knowledge level of education to the connect the dots understanding level, which makes this a great time to review which is what Dailygrams is all about. This is just a little daily review of all those grammar skills your kid is about to put into serious use in the high school years. The grade 6 book, yeah, that's about the right level for most kids at this age. Now, there is no actual teaching going on here, although you might run across some topics that you haven't covered yet, and this is a great way to breeze right through them. You introduce the topic, you got a little bit of practice, boom, done. Okay, a page a day. It really is just simple review. Hey, easy peasy.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
And 7th grade, here we go. IEW, that's Institute for Excellence in Writing, writing with structure and style. So yeah, welcome to junior high, where the rubber starts to meet the road. Yeah, so a little background here. I don't support formally teaching writing until 7th grade. For like K through 6, your child's writing should be entirely copywork and dictation based, with a little freelance journaling thrown in if you got a kid that can't keep the pencil out of his or her hand. But seriously, trying to teach writing before kids have strong language skills is just chasing your tail. Yeah, eventually you just get dizzy and fall off the table. Yeah, and your child ends up hating to write because it's too hard. So IEW has all the tools you need to get writing out of your planner and into your school day, because let's face it, most of us don't feel confident when it comes to teaching writing. So the Structure and Style program is just what we need. It's got you covered. So choose Year 1, Level B. Oh yeah, you're so welcome. Okay, so now 8th grade. 8th grade, okay, I think this has to be one of my favorite resources, the Fallacy Detective. This book is so much fun. You know what? You get real life examples of all the seriously illogical stuff we run into every day, and then you get to rip it all to shreds as you categorize this stuff by the type of fallacy it represents. Yeah, and tell you what, 8th grade is the perfect time for this, because what kid this age doesn't delight in catching out an adult? Yeah. Bonus, this has an accompanying DVD if you need that visual approach, but be warned, you might be reaping the logical whirlwind with this one. You might end up with that kid that says at least 20 times a day,
"There, run rings round your logic brain." Oh.
And now 9th grade. Yes, we've reached the high school years, and this time it's Matthew C. Algebra 1. So remember what I said earlier about delaying formal math? Yeah, well, this is the other half of why you do that. For most kids, algebra is much easier if it's started around 9th grade, because those expanding brains are finally ready to move from the more concrete side of math to the strictly abstract. Plus, big bonus here, this sets your student up for Algebra 2 in 10th grade, Geometry in 11th, and if needed, Trigonometry in 12th, which means it'll all be fresh if college is looming. Yeah, yay! Now, I know this delay, right, goes against the prevailing math teaching advice, but I say, why risk a math brain explosion by tackling this stuff before you have to? By the way, when it comes to high school math, I really love Matthew C. I've used lots of different programs, but I've found Matthew C is the only one that works for literally all learning styles and all levels of math capability. Yeah. For a solid review of Matthew C, check out my math video, but I just have to say, if you haven't tried Matthew C yet, now is the time to start.
Now is the time to panic.
Alrighty, 10th grade. And this time it's kind of a whole shelf of books. These are the Uncle Eric books. Yeah, these books are absolute gems. And this is the perfect age to use them because this is the stage where kids are actually living that whole, life meets learning thing. Yup. So you've got studies in economics, you've got the nature of government, you've got civics, entrepreneurship, and even history as it affects society today. Now, my personal favorites would be Economics, a Free Market Reader. That's this one right here. This is great. A series of readings on economics. Yeah. And this one, The Clipper Ship Strategy. Love it. I just plain love it. This just goes through a whole bunch of topics that have to do with life and understanding how life and money work. Yeah. And then this one, World War I. It's subtitled The Rest of the Story and How It Affects You Today. You know, we don't talk enough about World War I, so just saying, that is also a great resource, and those are kind of my favorites. Now, these are all pretty quick reads, so it's worth getting the whole lot of them. I strongly recommend you get 2 copies of each so you can read along with your child. These are discussion-worthy ideas. That's the whole point here, that you're going to talk about this. And bonus, you, Mom, will learn some stuff they never taught you in that public school. I can guarantee it. All righty, that was 10th. Moving on, 11th grade already. Wow. Okay, this time it's Exploring Government by Ray Notgrass. Okay, I'm a big fan of anything that Ray Notgrass has to offer. This one just reminds me of how right I am. Yes. The central book here is great and covers all things government. But the best part is this one. So let me just hang that up for you. We hold these truths. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is the real deal here. These are many of the actual historical documents that have formed our government, along with a whole bunch of really thought-provoking essays and speeches. Telling you, no matter what your child's political views are, this is what you need to give your kid context, to recognize ideas based on evidence, not just opinion.
I always get a great kick out of that part of the Declaration of Independence. Now, you're not going to have a country that can make these kind of rules work if you haven't got men that have learned to tell human rights from a punch in the nose.
And now, yes, 12th grade, and it's extreme ownership. You know, we've reached 12th grade, and this is the last hurrah for your homeschool. Yeah. So for this year, I've chosen a really different resource. This book has nothing to do with homeschooling or even education. It has everything to do with life. Yeah, this was written by 2 former Navy SEALs, Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. 2 guys who know what practical leadership is all about. So this book, not kidding, has the ability to transform your teen's approach to the big, wide world because it teaches effective, humble leadership. Something that most of us, we never really get the hang of that. Now, I will provide a word of caution with this one. Each leadership point is illustrated by a combat-related experience, and then it's applied to the business world and sometimes also personal life. I strongly suggest that you pre-read this before handing it to your teen to make sure you know exactly what he's reading. I'm not saying there's anything improper in this book, absolutely not, but the combat imagery is strongly worded. So I'm just recommending that you go through it first. This one I'm suggesting to you because your teen is about to go into the world without you. And the more tools you can give him or her, the better the adulting. Yeah, and isn't that the end goal of parenting in general?
I have so much to do and I'm just really aware of so many different multiple elements.
And now, drum roll please, the moment we've all been waiting for. my favorite multi-grade, use it with all the kids at the same time resource, Truthquest History! Yes, guess what? This is also my favorite history curriculum. Truthquest is a guide to historical fiction and nonfiction books that you read with your kids to experience history, not just read about it in some dry old textbook. I did an in-depth review of this one on one of my videos on teaching history, but in a nutshell, these guides are broken down by time period and then specific events and eras within those time periods. You can use this with all your kids, even the little ones, because a good story is a good story no matter what your age. So spend half an hour a day reading aloud as a group from a Truthquest book, throw in some discussion, and your kids will understand the past. Yes! Alrighty, there you have it. My top resource picks for every grade. And now, since you're so incredibly well equipped, I want you to go out there and teach like your hair's on fire, but in a practical, purposeful, positive way. You know what? You can do this because you truly are amazing.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day.